Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and I am a certified plant-based nutrition coach living a whole food, plant-exclusive, sos-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. And it literally gave me my life back. It really did, and I know it can do wonders for you. And so today I wanted to bring you along as I make my version of homemade cranberry sauce. Yes. So here in the United States, Thanksgiving is approaching us, and a really simple, delicious recipe that I use, that I make, is a cranberry sauce. My family loves it. The grandbabies last year was so cute. The youngest two were sitting in high chairs and just gobbling it up. And so anyways, I wanted to share it with you. And you know, whether you're having a big production at your home, or you're bringing something to a work Thanksgiving or to a family, neighbors, whatever, or just making something for yourself. Maybe you're not doing anything. It's a simple recipe, and I love it because you can make it quickly before you go that day, or before that day that you need it, or you can make it ahead like I am, freeze it, and it's ready to go when you are, and then all you have to do is thaw it. And so first thing I want to do is talk about the cranberries. Now, there's lots of cranberries in our area for sale. I just happen to have this bag here, and this bag was a bag of cranberries that I actually had, and I didn't use them, and so I had them in the freezer, and I just thawed them out, and they're fine. But you're going to want a bag or an amount of 12 ounces. This is 12 ounces. And the first thing I want to do is wash them. So I'm going to pour them in here. Some of them might look a little, yeah, they look a little like, oh, we were frozen and now we're not. And so let me just go take a step over to the sink and give them a nice, good washing. Okay, so I've got them all rinsed off and cleaned, and I'm just having them over this bowl because I want you to be able to see them. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then you will be notified when I go live or post new videos. And give this a thumbs up. It really helps me to share my content and to let other people know about different ways that whole food plant-based can enrich their life the way it's enriched mine. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And if you want to chat, well, feel free. Leave a comment below and we will chat. So in the meantime, I just want to talk about, this can be for anybody. I was going to say it doesn't have to be just like a vegan or a whole food, I hope it would be event, but anybody that eats anyway should enjoy this as long as they like cranberries and some other ingredients here, but it is on the sweeter, tartar side. So anyways, what we're going to do here is I'm going to grab a little pot, and I'm bringing it over to you just to show you what I'm putting in it before we get started, but we are going to cook it on the stove there. And so I'm going to take the whole entire thing of cranberries, and of course, depending on how many people you're serving, you can, definitely double this recipe. I know that my adult children, even my son-in-law, loves it, and so if there is any left over, well, I usually send it home with somebody like him. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to add is some maple syrup, and this is quite a lot of maple syrup. So this was 12 ounces bag of cranberries, fresh, but then I froze them and thawed them, but fresh cranberries. Then I'm going to go ahead and pour in, yes, a whole cup of maple syrup, and that is in place of any like regular sugars. This is our sweetener, and so if you don't want to use maple syrup, you can use date syrup, or you can split it and use half date syrup and half maple syrup. But I tend to like the maple syrup in this one just because I think that it just cooks down really well, but they're both great. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is add some orange juice. And so I have 1 cup of orange juice. So you can, use store-bought orange juice, or you can use regular oranges and squeeze it yourself, but you wanna have 1 cup of orange juice in there. Now, what if you don't have orange juice? Well, any other type of juice would work. You could use apple juice if you like apple juice, or any other type of, you could even use cranberry juice for goodness sake. But I like the flavor of the orange and the cranberry. So we're using that today. Traditionally, that's how I do it. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit extra of another citrus. If you don't have another one, you can just add like 3 tablespoons more of the orange juice. But what I like to do is either use lemon juice, and of course, if you were gonna do the orange, you could do a little bit more here, or pineapple juice. Something that is acidic, that's a little tart, is gonna be great. And so I am gonna throw in 3 tablespoons of pure pineapple juice. This is not anything added to it. So the orange juice says just orange, or you can do it yourself. The pineapple juice says just organic pineapple juice. You don't have to do it organic, but you just want to make sure that you understand what is in the ingredients. And then lastly, I want to take some zest. So you can use lemon or you can use orange. You want to make sure that your peels are really cleaned, which these are, and you want to make sure consider, if you are using the peel, to consider doing an organic versus a regular, because whatever, may have been sprayed on it during the store process and getting it to be shipped where you're going might still be on there. So you can use either an orange or a lemon, and then we're just going to go ahead and take a microplane. That's what this tool is that I'm using. And I'm just going to go ahead and add some of the orange zest. Now you see me moving it around and not going shh, because it's not a saw. We're not sawing anything, but the idea behind it is you want to make sure not to get the pithy part. That's this spongy right underneath this. You want to make sure that you don't get that, because it will give you not such a great flavor. And the idea is to get the flavor of the orange. So I'm doing about half of the orange. You could do whatever amount you want, and just getting that in there. And basically, that's it. So let's take a look. Here's what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and give it a stir, and then we're going to put it on the stove together, and we are going to bring it. Let's do that right now. We're going to bring the stove, put the stove, I have it kind of on medium to high. We want to get things going nice and hot, and the idea is that you want this to come to a boil, but you don't want to stay at a boil. So we're going to take a few minutes, we're going to allow this to come to a boil, and then we will turn the fire down and continue to cook it for a little bit. So here we go. And you can stir it. I like to stir it as I'm going. At first, it probably doesn't matter too much because there's a lot of liquid, but what's going to happen is the cranberries are going to like pop possibly and deflate and might make a little noise, might not, but the liquid is going to also kind of not evaporate, but I guess it's going to cook down, and we are going to be eventually left with a nice sauce. You could put the lid on if you want, but I like to angle it and give it a good watch because you don't want it to boil over. There's nothing worse than having something in a pot that boils over that can be super sticky, like maple syrup. So I always say keep an eye on it. And that's, oh, Remy just walked in here. Hi, Remy. He is excited. I don't know why. He doesn't eat maple syrup or cranberry sauce, you silly boy. But while this is coming to a boil, I'm going to get him a treat out of the cabinet. Come on, Remy. Whoa, did you hear that? That's the pop I was talking about, and that's totally normal and natural. It just means that everything is starting to heat up, baby. Woo! Oh my gosh, I love it. It's gonna heat up, but don't worry, we're gonna cool it back down, right? Because it's a cranberry sauce that's served cold. I mean, you could serve it like room temperature, but we like ours cold. There we go. We've got it nice and boiling here. I'm just gonna let it go another minute, and then we're gonna turn it down to a medium heat, and we are gonna let it cook for an additional maybe 10 minutes. So you have to be patient with it. Don't go too far away from it, and continue to stir it every minute or so. Okay, I am going to turn down to a medium. Give it another stir here. I'm going to put the lid on halfway and just keep a watch on it. Here we go. It's only been a few minutes. Look at that. And so it's a good thing I didn't go very far, but even on the low heat, you can see that things are really starting to pick up here, and that's great. It's all good. You just want to make sure that it doesn't boil over. So remove the lid, give it a stir, just kind of stay close to it. If you feel like even after you give it a stir, it's still creeping up, you know, if the boil continues to rise, how do you get that to go down? Just turn the flame down a little bit more and it will continue to cook, but it won't keep rising up. Look at that. See how it's rising up there? And I don't want it to go. So I'm going to bring my heat down between low and medium. And if all else fails, take it off of the heat for a minute and put it back on the heat, like I'm going to do. Look at this. Just removing it from the heat. See how it goes right back down? There we go. And I, again, turned it down, and now it's on low, the lowest setting that I have. Now I'll just give it a stir again. And this is basically it. And you're just going to kind of babysit it and just watch it until it turns into a nice thick, you'll see, because when we pick up the, well, I'm not using a wooden spoon, but you can use whatever, you know, tool you're using to stir it. When I pick up my spatula right now, you can see that it runs off. We don't really have much on it, but when it starts to get thicker the way we want it, it will actually, you will be able to dip it and we'll be able to see a nice coating. So now it's back down, taking its time, which is great. So I can go ahead on the lowest setting, put the lid crooked on again, and just continue to watch it. Let's take a peek at it. It's been over 5 minutes, and I just want to see how that's going. Look at how that's doing. Even on the lowest setting, which I think it might take a little bit longer than the 10 minutes on the very, very lowest setting, but that's okay. You can really see that the cranberries have really done a great job of cooking down, and the liquid is really low now, and it's just got a nice simmer to it. I might bump it up a hair so that it's not on the actual, you know, lowest setting, just a little tiny bit more. And I am making sure that I am scraping the very bottom with my spatula just to see, is there anything sticking? And there's nothing there. And giving it a nice stir. I'll go ahead and put the lid on again. And wait. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the juice to turn to a nice thick substance. And of course, once we're done with it on the heat and we remove it, it will continue to thicken up. But it's not quite there yet. So I'm going to continue to let it go, stirring on occasion and keeping a close watch again. See how it's really starting to thicken up? So pretty much any time now we could take it off the stove. You can cook it, maybe I'll cook it a couple more minutes, and then I think we're good. We are done. Now I know it's tempting to like want to taste it, but please, it is so hot. You won't burn your finger or your tongue. You just be patient. Let your nose, determine that it's going in the right direction. And once it cools down just a hair, you'll be safe and then you can enjoy it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. This was right about 20 minutes. Usually it takes me a little bit less time, but because I was turning the fire down a little bit more than normal because of how it was kind of boiling too high, there's a range. So, and just be aware of that. So I'm going to turn it off the fire. I'm just going to come over here and just let you see what's going on here. Doesn't that look delicious? Wow, it smells great. And I'm just going to take it off the burner that it was on. And I'm going to put the lid on it and just let it sit and cool for a few minutes. Now, we will pour it into a serving bowl so that you can see it and we'll taste it. But you do want to let it cool a few minutes. Once it's cooled all the way, if you do decide that you want to freeze it or you have leftovers that you want to freeze, just bring it all the way to room temperature, and then you can put it in a container. We use a couple different ones. We use the Food Saver, and we also sometimes use these super cubes. And so however you decide, but you just want to make sure that it does come to room temperature first. So let's take a look at this, see if it's cooled down at all. It hasn't been that long, so I still expect it to be hot, but let's see. Look at that. There we go. Oh yeah, can you see that? That is amazing. Look, and just like that, we have cranberry sauce. Oh my goodness. So there you go. And even though it is still really hot, this is a Pyrex dish, so it can hold heat. I would recommend that you wait until it's completely cooled or mostly cooled to room temperature, but I'm excited to show you how it looks. Look at that. Woo, it is hot. Oh yeah, that is wonderful. Smells delicious. And as it continues to cool, it's going to continue to thicken up more and more. And it should, by the time it's really cool and ready to go, you might see that it's not going to hold its form, right, like that can from when I was a kid, but it will definitely be nice and thick and delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and call Todd in. He really enjoys cranberry sauce, and I'm going to have him take a taste. I will have to have him blow a little bit because it is still hot, but I just can't wait. I'm so excited. And so, Todd, would you come in? Todd? Todd.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
I'm here. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
It smells fantastic. The house smells of cranberries.
Yes, and we have Thanksgiving coming up here in the U.S., and so I was sharing my cranberry recipe. It is still pretty warm.
I can see it steaming, so this will be fun.
But if you want to take some on the spoon and maybe, let it, give it a chance to cool.
I feel like this is going to be painful.
See, look how thick that is. I mean,
it's super thick.
Well,
if
you do that and face it towards the camera, then people can see what you're...
That's probably easier, right?
Yeah,
look at that.
And it's going to continue to get thicker. And, we usually really enjoy this. I was sharing that the family, I would give it another minute, but how, everybody in our family tends to really like this.
So it smells good. It's, pretty thick.
Yeah, you got to show them this way.
Sorry.
There you go.
It's pretty thick. It smells fantastic.
Don't burn your mouth.
It's hot?
Yeah, it's hot.
Oh, it's really good.
Like you haven't had it.
Really good.
Yeah?
Well, it's been a year since I
That's true. We don't make it usually throughout the year.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, let me give you a different spoon because we'll probably share this one if you want another taste.
No, we're not sharing this at all.
Yeah, but even though it's much better if you let it cool. And then tell me,
I don't know if I have that kind of patience.
what kinds of things do you enjoy having cranberry sauce on or with?
So let me describe the flavor, just other than, wow, that's really good. I'm just gonna like dip my face in it.
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it so much.
Oh. It's a super cool blend between sweet and tart. I do taste a little bit of orange juice, which is really good. And the cranberry and the sweetness and the flavor is amazing. I would just eat that by itself. I might later.
So is it, I know you said it's a balance, it's a blend, but I'm thinking of the flavors of tartness and also of sweetness.
Yeah.
And you're thinking and feeling that it's quite a nice blend.
I feel like it's just a perfect blend, right?
Wonderful.
You get a little bit of tartness and on the front, and then the sweetness comes in behind it, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, and so
if you are not making this, you're missing something.
So before we let everybody go, is there any one or two things that you personally enjoy putting this on or eating it with normally?
A spoon.
Just plain?
Putting it on a spoon and putting the spoon in my mouth.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
No, I don't know that I would put this on everything. I would.
Well, I was thinking that there are things that you normally put it on at Thanksgiving. I'll share that, in the past when I've had either baked potato or I've really enjoyed it on stuffing when I've had stuffing before.
Interesting, yeah.
And you could even, have it with, just anything, a bite of different things and in between. So anyways, I just wanted to give people ideas.
Thing on my plate and just.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for trying.
No, thank you.
And thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, eat your greens and give plants a chance. And if you feel like you'd like to reach out, I'd love to be able to help you in any way that I can, and you can reach me at thejennifferdiamond.com. Take care, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye for now.